So, all right, cool. Well, we're live on Facebook and YouTube as well. So, we are going to get started. I want to do things a little bit different today, topic wise. I wanted to talk about kind of year end goals, year end zero likes. Yeah, I just started. I literally just started 30 seconds ago. I mean, you could be the first one to give me a like if you want. Just received a patent on our product, the Spit-Tune Genie. That sounds interesting, Luke. That sounds interesting. You'll have to give me some more information on that. The Spit-Tune Genie. Both finished a remodel last week and have nothing on the books now. Well, that's not good. I posted in my Facebook group today, actually, plumbing tips. I don't know if you're in my Facebook group or not, but I posted a post today that was 3 ways you can get the phone to ring or to pick up a job today. And if you guys want, I can share those 3 with you on TikTok and everybody else that's live. Just throw a comment and let me know if you want me to share the 3 ways that you can get the pick up a job today if you're slow, if it's slowing down. So, uh, yeah, cool. Okay. I don't know if you're still on here. Beansy is cooler than you. Looks like I got about 393 likes now. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you getting me from 0 to 393. Um, so the ways you can get the phone to ring or pick up jobs. It's the end of the year, people are starting to slow down a little bit. There's the R word, kind of being thrown around. I tried to buy too much into that stuff. Does it happen? Sure. Does it affect the economy? Sure. But do I need to like dwell on it and make it a part of my daily life and add to my fears and anxiety and everything else? No, I don't. So, um, one of the easiest ways to get to get a job today is to call your previous customers. Is simply just call them. Just go through the list, call them up. Hey, Mary, it's Brad with Brad's Construction or whatever you do. I was just calling to check in on you. I know we did some work for you earlier this year. I just calling to see how that's holding up and how things were going. And usually they'll be like, "Oh, wow, I wasn't expecting this. Yeah, the fence you built for me is doing great. I really appreciate it. Thanks for checking up. I got to run. Okay, didn't pan out. Call the next one. Hey, Chris, I was calling to see how that fence we built for you last year is holding up. Yeah, actually, it's kind of you must have been on like reading my mind or something. I was getting ready to call you because I don't know if you remember we talked about that other project last year or whenever you were out here last time. We wanted to redo this and that, and actually we're ready to do it. So it's crazy that you called me. Perfect. I can come out and give you an estimate or whatever. Like you'd be surprised how many times just simply getting in front of your old clients again will actually trigger more work for you. There's things that are always on your mind. There's things that are always on people's minds. I could think of probably a dozen things right now that I need to do, but I forget about them. One being, I got to call the mechanic for my wife's vehicle. We got to get her car back in to look at the computer because it's not working right. And that's been something I need to do for the last 3 weeks now. I just keep forgetting about doing it. It's a low priority task for me, and I need to, think about that. Now, if out of the blue, the mechanic called me and said, "Hey, Brad, this is the mechanic shop, just calling to check in on your car," I'd be like, "Holy crap, I'm glad you called. I need to get the car back in there and get this done." It will generate work. Simply calling your previous customers will get that in. It absorbs 1,000 times its weight in spit. That sounds like a really good invention, but not one that I'm going to use. So, yeah, that's cool though. I hope that works out for you. I mean, I know it's a real need out there for that stuff. Okay, so on top of calling your previous customers, you can also call people back that had a warranty. claim. I'm not a warranty claim. I'm sorry, that you've given a warranty. If you have a warranty, let's say you do a 1-year workmanship warranty, craftsmanship warranty, 1-year labor and parts warranty, whatever it is, you should already do this anyways, by the way. You should put a practice in place to call people 11 months in. You've done the job 11 months ago. Hey, Cindy, this is Brad with Brad's Construction. Just calling to let you know that it's been 11 months since we installed your thing. And I was just calling to see if you had any issues with it or anything we need to repair or take care of before the warranty expires in a month. Now, number one, you're going to blow your customers away because nobody does that. So you're already creating even more value after the sale. And two, if there is something that is wrong with that, but they just don't want to call you, you want to get in front of that. Because let's say you installed something and something did fail, but they're just not calling you because they don't think you care. You call them, blow their mind. They go, actually, we've had a problem. The faucet's been leaking ever since you remodeled the bathroom. Oh, well, we need to get out there and take care of that. Why? Because I don't want them to have this continuous thing in their mind of, well, we really like Brad, did a good job, but the faucet's been leaking ever since they did the bathroom remodel. And, that's just kind of wish they would have done a little bit better job of checking on that or whatever. I want to take care of that. I want to know if something is going to fail now or in the future. It also allows you to get in front of them, right? It allows you to get back in front of them. They go, no, everything's been great. Awesome. I'd like to schedule a time to come out and look at everything. Like you want to go out there and look at it. Why would you want to do that? Well, it gives you all kinds of intel. You can look at the job and see how it's held up since you installed it, depending on what you do. If say you're a landscaper and you did a landscaping install, a bed or whatever, landscaping bed install, you can go out there and look at it 11 months later and just see what's going on with it. You can see how it's been used. You can see if the customer has done things that's made it tear it up or whatever. And so now you can kind of gain intel into like going forward. Maybe you need to do something different with your business. Maybe you need to do something different with your installs or how you handle that or whatever that might be. It gives you intel. But also while you're there looking at that landscaping project you did, you can look around and say, yeah, notice the pine trees on the back of your property are looking a little overgrown. Would you want us to go ahead and take care of that for you? Well, now that you said that, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, you're right. They are overgrown. Yeah, can you get us on your schedule? You can generate so much business by simply calling your previous customers, either just to check up on them or to check up on a warrant, let them know that their warranty is going to expire. So that's one thing, is calling your previous, trying to get my face centered here. Call your previous customers. I saw some questions come in. I'm going to get back to that here in just a second. Second thing you can do is to call, is to call people that are in your network of types of industry. So if let's say you're a remodeler, let's say you remodel, your general contractor or whatever, start calling interior designers. They design projects that need remodeled. Start calling all of the interior designers in your town and just introduce yourself. Even if you've been in business for 10 years, doesn't matter. Hey, this is Brad with Brad's Construction. I was just reaching out to interior designers to introduce myself and see if there's anything that I could help you with. A lot of times we have clients that are needing interior design, and I like to have designers that I can refer to. Would it be worth your time to go have a cup of coffee? Would it be worth your time to, schedule a phone call a little bit later we have more time, whatever it might be, or are you busy now? And just have that conversation. It doesn't mean that if you call 10 interior designers, you're going to get work out of it. But maybe if you call 10, you might get one person that's like, hey, it's funny you called. We got a project right now that we need to we're trying to find a contractor on. The one that we normally use is just tied up. he can't do anything for 6 months and we need to try and get this done in 4 months. Would you be interested in taking a look at it? Absolutely. That's just, call interior designers, call supply places, make relationships with supply houses. A lot of those places will have a list. The tile distributor that I used had a list of tile installers. So look at forward operating base rush. We are trying to find a contractor. Somebody commented on Facebook on Facebook. Look at forward operating base rush. We are trying to find a contractor. So reach out to suppliers, right? Like I was saying, my tile supplier had a list of tile contractors. And whenever you befriend those people, bring them donuts and stuff like that, and really just actually like treat them respectfully and be nice, they will want to recommend you. I'm trying to think of all the other ones that I even wrote down, but other places that may need services, like realtors. If you're a landscaper, realtors always need landscaping stuff done to sell a property. They need somebody to recommend. And just because you reach out to them doesn't mean that you're going to get a job today. But if you get on their radar, then it could mean a lot of business in the future. It could result in a job today, but you're also building for the future. Create a database when you do this. If you start calling interior designers, like create some type of database on them, their name, where they work, get their phone number, get their email, get all the information you need, so that even in the future you can start marketing to them or whatever. You always should be collecting information from your prospects or anybody you meet. That's just good business, by the way, guys. You should always be building your list. Don't just meet somebody and be like, oh, hey, yeah, I'll put your number in my phone, and you put them in there, and then a month later you've completely forgot that person. Just because they're in your phone, John Smith, he's a carpenter, and you have his phone number, there's nothing that's going to trigger that in your mind that you need to reach out to that person. But if you're looking for carpenters or you're looking for subcontractors and you have an actual list, like an Excel spreadsheet list of subcontractors, and you put that name in there, now when you need a subcontractor and you open the list, he's in there. So simply just putting their contact information in your phone is not going to necessarily help you. Project Diehard said, veteran nonprofit organization working on 20 acres in a 10,000 square foot building, donated when completed. I think you actually reached out earlier this year about this. When completed, the house 12 single veterans and 2 veterans with families. That's a cool project. So if you guys, anybody on this live or anywhere is interested, where are you located at, Project Diehard? What city or state are you working in that you're looking for contractors? Maybe we can make a connection right here live on the call. That'd be pretty cool. Anything has to do with veterans, I'm always on board for. Actually, you're in, what is it, Maconda? How do you say that? I don't know. Maconda, Illinois. Macinda. I don't know how you say that, but anyways, they're in Illinois. So if anybody's watching this and you're in Illinois and you're a general contractor, Project Diehard is looking for a contractor to build a building. Project Diehard, I need to get with you. We could probably get you on the podcast and talk about what you guys do. That'd be a cool podcast. So I'd like to have you on as a guest. Somebody on Facebook, I'm in Illinois, Midwest Development and Installation. Yeah. Oh, it's a building. You need the building remodeled. I got you. They donated 20 acres in a 10,000 square foot building. The building needs to be remodeled for the families. So yeah, that's cool. I like this. Before I get to the questions, I want to get to the third thing, which is other contractors. Guys, contracting is a lot of people look at it and have a scarcity mindset. I'm in my town. I don't want anybody else to know what I do. You know, I don't want them to know my secrets and all this blah 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 because they may take business from us. That's a scarcity mindset. And that mindset will actually keep you from actually being successful. When you have an abundance mindset, you understand that there's more money in the world than people could use. There's more opportunity out there, and if we come together and help each other, we actually all benefit from it. So other contractors in your city, now they may not be doing the exact same thing you do, but other contractors are accentuate each other. Accent. Man, I can't talk. They accent each other. So if you're a electrician, that's what you do, then you're gonna accent a plumber or a heating and air guy, right? So if you reach out to other trades and just make connections with them, then you guys can refer each other. Also, like if you're let's say you're a roofer, you do roofing, but you don't do siding, you would want to network with a siding guy so that if you're doing a roofing project or if there's a hailstorm damage or something and you're doing the roof portion but not the siding portion, you need a siding contractor that you can recommend. So if you're a siding contractor, if you do siding replacements, I would be calling every roofer in town and asking if they have anyone that does that for them. I had a We did mostly carpentry and remodeling, and I had a good friend of mine that owns a roofing company, and they would do skylights, but they wouldn't do anything inside the house, which is smart. He's got roughneck roofers on the roof. They're not the people you want in your house, especially if no one's home, if you understand what I'm saying. So he would, every time they did a skylight install or a replacement, they would call me. Hey, I got three more skylights on this house we put in. They all need to be trimmed out on the inside. Cool. We would go do that. That's a network that works together. So you can call other contractors that aren't directly competing with you, or even if they are, and work with them. There was a carpenter who I befriended, and it's kind of funny because the shop that I'm in now was the shop that he was in. I was two shops down, and I just walked up to him one day and introduced myself and was like, "Hey, what's going on?" We got to become friends. Found out we were both from the Marines, and then later on, through that development of that relationship, there were jobs where he just needed somebody that could come and help him for one day or for 4 hours or whatever it was. And if I was available, I would go help him, and vice versa. There were days where I needed an extra carpenter, a skilled carpenter, and he was available. He would come and help me for an hour, or I mean, not an hour, but like for a day or whatever it was, 3 days. And we would literally just help each other. We would pretty much tag team. A lot of times we're just trading money back and forth. One day I would help him do something for 4 hours. The next day he was helping me do something for 4 hours. And we were basically just trading money back and forth. But it was still a relationship that was useful for both of us. So at the end of the day, all you're trying to do when you're reaching out to other networks, all you're trying to do is figure out how you can help them solve a problem that's currently in their business. If it's an interior designer who needs a contractor to get a project done that the customer is being impatient about, and you reach out to them as a contractor, you are now solving their problem. You're making their life easier because of that. All right, let me take a break here and look at these questions that come in. Project Die Hard says they're going nationwide with their project, so they're looking for contractors all across. Project Die Hard, if you don't already, you should have a website with a application process for contractors to sign up. If you don't, you need to do that immediately. Benjamin says, I picked up a couple room turns at a couple retirement homes to fill the next couple days. Pay is typically low on this type of job, but there's potential for steady income of work. How should I approach the client if I want to take on the whole account? Should I consider a lower profit? Nope. You should not consider a lower profit. I don't have the ability to make anything on the materials side. Going to do a couple units at the last guy's numbers to job costs and get a feel for the room. Benjamin, I wouldn't recommend doing any of that, to be honest with you. And we can talk more about that in the sales accelerator if you want. Maybe not so much live on here. Again, I would go and I would find out what their problem is and what the solution is. Right? Don't get caught in this belief that if you're doing a larger project or multiple phase project that you should be given a discount to the people. That is it's a myth that you should do that. You shouldn't be discounting your work. If you're providing enough value, people will be willing to pay you full price to get you to do the work, right? You got to understand that if they can't find someone to do that work, you are now providing a valuable solution to their product or their problem, rather, which is they need somebody to do the work. If you approach it from, I want to do all the work, so I'm going to give you a discount, they're over here on their side saying, man, I can't, the timing's perfect that we found this Benjamin guy. We're just thankful that he's able to do the work. We're going to pay him full price. Heck, I would even pay him an extra just to get it done. And you're over here saying, I want the work, so I'm going to discount the price. Like, there's no reason to that. Now, if they bring it up, hey, Benjamin, since we're giving you this work, would you give us a discount? That's a different situation, right? If you're just doing it on your own, you're just negotiating against yourself. You're just basically screwing yourself, even though you may not even need to, which is what a lot of us do. A lot of us contractors do that. Man, there's just no way they can afford $20,000. I've been in their house. They don't have that much money. There's no way they can afford it. Okay, well, if I work really hard and on the weekends and nights, I can probably knock it down to about 16, and I think they'll probably be able to pay that. Okay, yeah, and you turn in an estimate for 16. Meanwhile, they think it's going to be 25,000, and they got the money in the bank, and you're like, yeah, we can do it for 16. Oh, you're hired. That stuff happens every day, all the time with contractors. It's amazing that people don't understand this. Project Die Hard, we are willing to pay, but question mark. If you can buy 4 carts of food from the grocery store, they don't give you, if you buy 4, nobody gives you a discount. I'm not saying there's not a time and place to do a discount. I'm not saying that it's never a good time to do a discount. I'm just saying you shouldn't discount as a general rule. If they come back and say, Benjamin, we want you to do this work and we're going to give you the entire account. However, you're a little bit higher than the other guys and we simply can't afford that. It's not in the budget. Is there any way you can come down $2,000 per unit? Maybe you're at 20 grand per unit. They want you to do it for 18. You look at the numbers and it makes sense. Well, if I'm there for 3 months straight doing every place, I'm going to become super efficient at it. I'm going to be much better at it. Every unit's the same. Once I've done 2 or 3, I'm going to speed up exponentially. You can look at the data and then say, yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense that if I discount it $2,000 and I'm doing 20 units over 3 months, it makes sense that I can make this work. Then yeah, discount it. But it's not the default response is to discount it. I'm looking at your question again. Yeah, so Benjamin, we got to talk about this inside the group, man, because this is a symptom of a bigger mindset problem. Even the fact that I consider a lower profit, that's a symptom of a mindset problem that we need to work through. So let me go to TikTok here and look at these. There was a bunch of questions that came in. I don't want to miss them. So how do you motivate employees to do a good job so you don't always have to be on site constantly? You have to create a work list, not a work list. You have to create processes and a checklist. Okay. You have to create processes and checklists so that they can operate without you. You have to motivate them. You have to find out what's important. By the way, Clark 8080, who's watching, if you don't listen to my podcast, you should. Everyone on here, if you don't listen to my podcast, you should. But if you go to the podcast that just dropped last week, which was Monday of last week, episode 90, I interviewed a gentleman called by the name of Nathan France, and he's a very successful contractor, entrepreneur, and we talked about recruiting, specifically how to recruit top talent in your business. Lots of great takeaways on that podcast. I have a few videos in my profile here on TikTok. Go watch those, but go listen to that podcast, episode 90, How to Be a Recruiting Powerhouse with Nathan France. Well worth the listen. But he talks about, one, if you want to have good employees, if you want to recruit top talent in your business, you have to become top talent as an owner. You have to become a top talent owner. And this actually segues perfect into what I wanted to talk about today, even though we're already 27 minutes in, which is a lot of the reasons why you may be struggling in your business is because you're not being the person that one you were designed to be, that you're capable of being, or that you need to be. At the end of the day, most of us fall short on being the person that we need to be for our business and for our employees. So if I'm trying to attract top talent, and my dashboard is completely covered with coffee cups and trash and food wrappers and all that crap, and the truck's all beat up and dinged up, and I come in late, 5 minutes late every day, if that's the type of owner I am, then the people, top talent, do not want to work for someone like that. You're only going to be able to recruit sub talent. You're only going to be able to recruit, 6 and 5s and 4s and 3s and below. A top, on a scale of 1 to 10, a 10 talent, say a carpenter, he does not want to go work for a company that's barely making it, where the owner doesn't know what he's doing, has no confidence, doesn't have a website, has a piece of shit truck. They don't want to work for people like that. Top talent only wants to work for top talent. So if you have a recruiting problem, if you have a training problem or a hiring problem, the very first thing you need to do is look at yourself and say, am I being the type of boss or owner that a top talent person would want to work for? And if the answer is no, then you have some changes you have to make. The reason why there's people struggle with employees is because they're not a good boss and because they don't pay well. People leave people. They don't leave positions. I don't know if you guys understand this. Most people don't leave jobs because they're not necessarily making enough money, although that is a factor. But most people that have been at a place for a long period of time, like 6 months to 5 years, the reason they leave is because of somebody in that organization that they don't like. And it's with contractors, it's usually us. Not always, but usually us. It could be another hire. You could have a 5-man team. Everything's going pretty good. You hire a new green guy, and he comes in, and the green guy's doing really good, but all of a sudden your second in command wants to quit. That's not a coincidence. There's something going on. Maybe the new guy has a different political viewpoint than the guy who wants to quit, and the new guy is always running his mouth about why his side is always better than the other side. And the other guy, who's very quiet and doesn't say anything but still has opinions, is like, you know what, F it. I don't want to work around this loudmouth, other side of the political aisle guy every single day. I'm going to go work somewhere else. That stuff happens every day in every business across the world, and people don't understand why that's happening. They don't think to investigate what's going on, and that really comes down to, you got to keep your thumb on the livelihood of your employees. In other words, you actually have to care about them. You have to care about them and their personal life and what's going on. If you listen to that podcast with Nathan, he talks about really understanding what your employees want and then creating a plan around that. A lot of us want to we have a plan. We need to hire someone who's going to work 7:30 to 4, Monday through Friday, 30-minute lunch, and you got to drive your own vehicle, you got to have your own tools, and this and this and this. Like, we create this square peg of what we want. Along comes a round piece of wood, who is a great person, who's going to be a great employee, and we're trying to take this round peg of a person and put them into a square hole, and the round peg says, "Man, I'm really tempted. I like what you guys are doing, but I'm going to have to pass this time." And the reason is because you didn't create a round hole to put the round peg in. You were trying to take a round peg and put it in a square hole, and it doesn't work. So you have to sometimes change that. You may go to your team and say, "Hey, team, would you guys want to work 4 10s instead of 5 8s?" And everybody's like, "Hell yeah, dude. That'd be awesome." Or whatever it might be. But then comes along a guy and says, "Well, I want to work 5 8s. I don't want to work 4 10s because I have to pick up my kids in the evening." Well, sorry, man. That's how we do it here. 4 10s. That's how we do it. Sorry. And you just passed up on a dude that could be the best employee you've ever had. Instead of saying, "Okay, let me talk to the guys and see if we can figure out something that's going to work. Maybe there's a way that we can make this work." And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. But if you don't at least explore how you can try to make that that circle or that hole a little more circle than it is square, then you're going to miss out on a lot of people. So that was a good question. You got to find out what motivates him. The new guy, all he cares about is zeros. He wants commas and zeros. He doesn't want a 401k. He doesn't want dental. He doesn't want time off. He doesn't care you buy him lunches. He just wants the most amount of money he could possibly get in his pocket. Meanwhile, the other guy has a family. He's like, "I need a 401k. I need dental. I need a company truck. I don't need as much money. I just need these other things." And if you're not able to like work together to formulate a plan that works for each person individually as best you can, then you're missing out on a lot of opportunities. Operating out of a business account but taking out money and putting them in different accounts. What? Where did I miss there? I don't know what I missed. Renovation. Operating out of a business account and taking out money and putting them in different accounts, but not getting taxed twice. Or I must have missed something there because there's a piece missing. Yeah, networking with other contractors, very true. I'm all landscaping buddies will always recommend my company. Yep. The state usually has a list of contractors and subcontractors. Just go to the website. That just depends on your state. This is a common misconception that I see almost daily, is that we have our framework that our mind works in is based on our local and state laws. This is how my state is. This is how my local municipality is. Ergo, every city and state in the country is the same. It's not. Every county, city, and state is totally different. Even within my state of Indiana, every single city and county has totally different building code requirements, licensing requirements, insurance requirements. It's totally different. So that whatever state you're in, I don't know, whatever your name is. I'm not going to say that online. The carpenter. It may not be for every single state. If any contractors need a drywall company in North Carolina, holler at me. Level 5 is in North Carolina. Contractor says it's all about who you know, not necessarily about what you know. Absolutely. Why do I look so nervous? Benjamin Gene Nick Sniff Nick Nick or whatever you're. Why do I look so nervous? I don't look. I don't know. Do I look nervous? I mean, I am running from the government, but do I look nervous? What else we got here? He is speaking facts. Don't cut yourself short. I find myself getting underbid all the time because these guys are driving the prices down. That's a level 5. That is a limited mindset belief. Are there people cheaper in the market that do damage to the market? Yes. Do they affect you directly? No, they don't. A lot of that is it's a limited belief. If I believe that Chris down the street is going to do the job for 20 cents a square foot cheaper than me, and then I go talk to a customer and I have that belief in my head, then I'm not going to do a very good job of selling myself or selling my services to that person, because that limited belief lives rent free in my head. It's about providing value. Everything that you do in your business, which is what I said this earlier, I hinted on this, or I said it, if you guys caught it, when you're talking to like influencers in your area or contractors, your objection, it must be because I'm like nervous, I can't talk straight. Your um, object, what you're trying to accomplish, is to solve problems. So if you approach every situation from how can I solve this problem, you will be far better off than if you're trying to make money. See, a lot of us are just trying to make money. I look stoned. I don't know how that's possible. I've never done drugs a day in my life. Um, maybe I am probably tired. I am a little tired. I didn't sleep very good last night, but I got little puppies waking me up. So that maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just tired. But anyways, the object that you should be doing, the goal is to solve problems. See, a lot of us, and by the way, this is another plug for my podcast. If you listen to today's podcast that dropped today, the question I ask is, are you in the right business? Meaning, are you in the money making business or are you in the problem solving business? Are you in the money making business or the problem solving business? Most contractors that struggle with making money are in the money making business. The people that are in the problem solving business do exceptionally well. There's a saying that people that are self made millionaires, they became millionaires by solving problems, a lot of problems. And billionaires, self made billionaires, became billionaires by solving really big problems. So if you can go out there and solve a creative problem or have a creative solution to a problem, if you can do it in a more efficient way, if you can do it in a different way than everyone else does it, if you can position yourself as the only solution to X problem, then you won't have a worry. You don't have to worry about competing with everyone else. But if you're just a drywall finisher and you're just competing on a square foot price, then you become a commodity. And why would I pay 60 cents a square foot for your service when there's a guy down the street that does it for 40 cents a square foot? But if somehow you created a completely dustless drywall finishing process where I'll come into your house if you're doing a remodel and we guarantee no dust whatsoever, you have now positioned yourself as a very unique company who can do something that a lot of people will pay more for. I would pay a lot more money, not just like equal, a lot more money for a service like that. You've seen like dustless floor sanding companies that come in and they'll sand your floor. It's completely dustless. They make a lot of money because they have a unique solution. So start thinking outside the box, guys. Start thinking about how can I solve my customers' problems and provide the most value. And that value may be, maybe you're able to do something 3 times more efficient, meaning you can complete it in a third of the time. Maybe you're an electrician and you figured out how you can rough out a house in 2 days when the average electrician takes 6 days to rough out a house. And you've got figured out some proprietary way of doing it quickly. You could charge more because if it takes you 4 days less, that's 4 days faster I can get more people in there. Now I'm just spitballing this stuff, so don't like hold me to it and be like, "Oh, that's not possible. You can't." No. I'm just trying to give you ideas and using different trades of how you can come up with creative ways to solve problems. And when you approach every sales process as a how can I solve this problem? In other words, what is in the best interest for my client? Not as how can I make money on this job? How can I close this person so I can make money? Those are people that are in the money making business. If you're in the problem solving business, those people make a lot more money. Think Elon Musk. Perfect example. What was the problem? Gas is killing the economy or the environment. Sorry. So I'll just create a electric car company. He comes out ahead of the time. It's a lot harder. He was the pioneer in this. Now all of a sudden, everybody's doing electric vehicles, and it's the norm. But he was the pioneer, and people buy Teslas not because they're the fastest car or the most energy efficient or whatever. It's because they bought into the brand, and they just want to own a Tesla because it's Tesla, right? So now he's gonna take over Twitter and do the same thing over again. He's done it with SpaceX. They said on I don't know if you saw the interview, or that he said if Apple started removing all of their advertising dollars on Twitter because of something that Elon was doing with Twitter, they didn't agree with it. And somebody asked him about what happens if Apple and Google take your app off their stores where you can't download Twitter. He said, I'll just start my own phone company. That's a problem solver, guys. That's how you solve problems. You want to take me away from all the people? That's fine. I'll just start my own cell phone company and run you guys out of the market, because he would. He's approaching it from a problem solving standpoint. So I'm just trying to get you guys to get in that mindset of how can you solve your customers' problems better, faster, maybe cheaper. Maybe it's cheaper because you can do it faster. You actually make more money gross profit per job because you can do that job in 2 days and everyone else takes 10 days. So you make more money per job because you can do 5 jobs in 1 week or whatever in 10 days, and the other company, they can only do 1 job. So you're making way more money, but you're saving the client money because you're only $2,000 and the other company's $4,000 because it takes them longer. So just because you can do something cheaper for your customer doesn't mean that you can't make more money at it. There's lots of ways you can approach competing with other contractors, especially on price. What's your thoughts on the housing market for the next year? I'd rather not say. I'd rather not say on that. Top talent, top pay. Yep, that's right. Oh, I have a POS truck, but it's new. Got it back on November 23rd after 50 days of the dealership. I'm sorry to hear that. That happens sometimes. You have to have a team that enjoys working together. If the all-star guy hired on and jacks up, yeah. Where'd I get this shirt? This is from True Work. True Work. I don't know if you can see that. It's True Work. It's a button. It's actually snap button. I like it. So it's a very comfortable dry, like not dry fit, but it's kind of like dry fit. True Work. They're not cheap, by the way. They're pretty expensive. The flow of the crew he has to go, or your risk yeah. I had 3 guys from one company. I had a local contractor, very successful, at least from the outside. And I reached out to him and we kind of became friends. And then he sort of kind of became a mentor of mine. And all of a sudden I had a position for a lead guy come open. And I had 3 different people from his company apply for my job. And what's crazy is that all 3 of those people were on the same team. So he had like several teams. He was in like the basement and crawl space waterproofing business, which is a very lucrative business. But he had multiple teams, and all 3 guys from one team all applied for my position. And I talked to all 3 of them. Well, it turns out that the owner hired a new production manager, and all that guy cared about was making money. And so he was selling jobs at a hourly production rate, in other words, how long the job was going to take, that was not feasible. And so all of these guys who were doing well, who were being profitable for the company, who liked each other, insert, jackass above them, and he starts making their life miserable. And everybody's like, I'm out. I'm jumping ship. and 3 different people ended up applying for the leadership position. And then later on, I had more of an apprenticeship position come up, and another person from that company applied, and I actually hired him. It kind of pissed off the other guy, but I'm like, I didn't do it on purpose. I put an ad in the paper. The dude applied for the ad. I'm not going to hire him. And so I'm just telling you, people quit people. They don't quit positions. I have 4 different city licenses to do work in their city limits. I'm the only company in my area that does level 5 finish, and we basically do a dustless job. Yeah, so you should be charging premium. 4 more days, you can get the other jobs. No, I'm not Elon. I'm no Elon Musk. Absolutely, I sub out painting also and have lots of contacts with plumbers, electricians. That helps. I tell them I'm going to be there at least a day longer. Who do you go to for your Google listing? I always did all my own Google stuff. I'm not the best at it, but I always did my own. A general contractor is breaching his contract with me. Do I pull off or threaten? Well, what's going on with that, Blob? Blob Marley. I like that name, by the way. Blob Marley. The general contractor is breaching his contract with you. How is he breaching your contract? What is he doing exactly? And then should you pull off? Well, that's going to determine on what's going on. And then if you can answer that, Blob Marley, then I'm going to hop off after that because we're a little over. So while if he's answering, I'll come back. But they are puppies still, man. I don't know who you are, but they are puppies. That's probably Travis. That seems like something Travis would say, or Luke, one of you two. What's your advice for a GC who expects me to bankroll his project? I wouldn't do that. If you listen to any of my contact, I must be tired because I can't talk today. If you've listened to any of my content, you've heard me say you should never do that. You should always be collecting more money than you're paying out. You should always be ahead of payments. You collect a deposit, you do the work, collect another deposit, do the work, collect another deposit. You're always ahead of it. That's how you maintain cash flow. I do realize that with subcontractors, sometimes that's not always possible to get a deposit, but it should be as close as you possibly can. If he wants you to bankroll his project, then either he's in financial trouble or he doesn't know how to run his business. Yeah, well, okay. So Blob Marley, 20K to start, 20 at midpoint at the choosing point in the second edition, and he's only paid you 10K so far. So I hate to tell you this, bud, but that's your fault. If it's 20K to start, you don't start until you have 20K in your pocket. If he's like, hey man, I don't have the money right this second. I'm not gonna get paid for 2 weeks. Can you go ahead and start this project? Nope. You want me to start the project? It's 20K in my pocket, or I don't do anything. And if you don't, you have to stick to that, guys. You have to stick to your guns on that stuff. You can't just now within reason. If you've been working for a guy for 10 years and he's always paid you and he asked for one little favor one time, are you gonna, is your business gonna tank because of that? No. But well, then you stop. You stop work. If he paid you the 20K to start and then 20K midpoint, you stop work. You say, hey, John, where's my other 10K at? Well, that's all I got right now because of this and that. Well, that's your problem. If you want me to finish, give me the 10K that you owe me, and then I'll come back and finish. Even if that means you have no work to do for 2 weeks, you have to stand up for yourself at some point. You can't let the fact that you need the work, again, working for money, keep you on those jobs and hope that you get paid. Doing a multi-million dollar project, he's only paid us 48K. Oh my gosh. Guys, you got to stop doing that stuff. How do you go about that? Now, commercials is slightly different. I'm not gonna lie. Commercials a little bit different. But again, if you got guys, if you just have conversations with these people, like I mean, like real conversations with the generals, a lot of them are down to earth who want to do a good job and they'll work with you. I don't know why everybody's so scared to just have a conversation with someone, whether it's difficult or not, and just simply say, "Hey, I know that you typically only do X. You only give a 5% deposit and you only pay after this milestone and blah 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 blah. I know that's how you normally do that. But here's what I'm asking of you. Is it possible? Is it possible that I could get 8% up front and then this and this and here's why?" And if they say, "No, we can't do that. Unfortunately, there's just no way we can do that. If I do it for you, I got to do it for everyone, blah blah blah." If they give you a legitimate reason, then you have to decide, if I want to work for this company, I have to abide by their rules. That's just the way it goes. But if you don't ask, if you don't sit down and actually ask them, "Hey, is it possible? Is it an unreasonable request?" That's how you should start the conversation. "Hey, John, I need to talk to you about the project." "Okay, what's up, man?" "Would it be unreasonable for me to get a 10% deposit instead of 5? Would that be unreasonable?" He may say, "Well, it's not unreasonable, but I don't know how we're going to be able to do it." Or he may say, "No, it's not unreasonable. Let me see what I can do." Or he may say, "Yeah, that's completely unreasonable. This is our contract. This is how we do it. Take it or leave it." The point is, until you ask, guys, until you actually have those conversations, you'll never know. But we're so scared to death to actually have those conversations. We're scared to death to ask people, including residential clients. I appreciate you guys coming in here. I see some comments here. Um, does the person from Project Die Hard have a name or contact? So somebody, Project Die Hard, I don't know if you're still on here. Somebody wants to know if you're. I mean, I'm assuming whoever you are, a Facebook user, you could probably search for Project Die Hard, and you might be able to find them out. I don't know that to be true. That's where I would start. If I was you, as soon as I get off here, I'm going to Google and I'm searching Project Die Hard. I'm going to find their website, probably find a contact form, and I'm going to fill it out. Um, Sometimes, guys, you just got to like put in the extra work, like research, reconnaissance. Like you just have to actually put in the work. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm not picking on you, by the way, on Facebook. I don't know who you are. I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying in general, for everything, we just got to put in a little extra work sometimes. Had several conversations. The most they could do was weekly pay, but they didn't even pay. Yeah, then you stop work. If they don't, if they say this is all we can do, and you're like, okay, I'll make it work, and then they don't pay you that, you're done. I'm out. I'm not doing another thing for you until I get at least what we agreed upon. I'm out. But we need the money, so we keep working, and then we hope that we get paid. That's not how you run a business, guys. It's not how you run a business. If your mom was on life support at the hospital and you agreed to pay $5,000 a day for her to be on life support, and then you didn't pay it for whatever reason, and the hospital came and said, "Hey, if you don't pay us $5,000 by the end of the day, we're taking your mom off life support." Would you be like, "Nah, go ahead, we're not going to pay it"? No, you'd be like, "Oh, fuck, I got to find the money somehow." You need to pull their contractor, your general, off life support. You need to threaten to pull them off life support. Because if you pull off and they don't have anybody that can do that, then they're going to be screwed. So regardless if they have the money or not, that's their problem. That's not a you problem. If they broke contract, you well, if you signed a contract that said you can't pull off or you will get back charged, and then they don't pay you, then that's on you for signing a contract that's so one-sided. If they break contract, if you agree to a 20K a week and they don't pay that, they broke the contract, not you. So you may just need to hire an attorney. And sometimes it doesn't have to be a full-blown attorney. You can just get an attorney to write a letter to them on, a legal document that says, "Hey, you are in breach of contract with our client. How would you like to proceed?" Usually a letter from an attorney gets people's their behavior to get changed real quick. Mac attack, that's not true, man. You got the wrong mindset there, bud. We don't work for money. If you work for money, you will always be broke. If you solve problems, you will have more money than you could possibly ever think of. Change your mindset, flip it around. Yes, you got to have money to live. But if you wake up in the morning and say, "How can I make money today?" If that's your motivation, you have the wrong motivation and the wrong mindset. If you wake up and say, "How can I provide value to the world today through my services?" then you will have more money than you could possibly ever imagine. And that's truth. That's not well wishes or love. That's reality. What do you think I'm doing right now? I don't get paid for doing this. I don't get paid at all for doing this. I don't get paid $100 an hour to come on TikTok Live, Facebook Live, and do this. I'm doing this because I want to help others solve problems. And if I do that enough and I help solve enough problems for enough people and they want to up their game, they're going to reach out to me and then I will make money on the back end. So that's what I'm trying to say. Provide enough solutions to enough problems and you will have more money than you could possibly ever imagine. And with that, I'm out, guys. I appreciate you jumping on and hanging out with me for the last hour. I go live every Monday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you want to accelerate your sales process, I just launched a brand new program last week called the Sales Accelerator. It's very affordable. You can learn more about that go to my bio or go to contractorsalesaccelerator.com and find out information about that. If you would do me a favor before you leave TikTok, just double tap the screen and give me a like. I'd really appreciate it. You guys on Facebook, if you can throw me a like, I'd appreciate it too. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Peace out. Thank you.